The case surrounding Jeffrey Epstein remains one of the most disturbing and complex criminal investigations of the 21st century. When officials began unsealing portions of investigative records, millions of pages of court filings, depositions, flight logs, emails, photographs, and digital evidence, the scale stunned the public. Thousands of documents, videos, and images painted a broader picture of a network that spanned decades and crossed international borders. Epstein, once a wealthy and well-connected financier, was charged with serious federal crimes related to sex trafficking of minors. His 2019 arrest reignited global scrutiny of how such abuse was allowed to continue for so long. Survivors had been speaking out for years, but the renewed investigation brought unprecedented attention. One name that repeatedly surfaced in media coverage was Prince Andrew. Court documents and civil filings referenced his association with Epstein. Prince Andrew has denied allegations of wrongdoing, and in 2022, he reached an out-of-court settlement in a civil case without admitting liability. Still, the reputational damage and public debate were immense, particularly within the United Kingdom. The release of documents triggered worldwide aftershocks. Headlines spread rapidly. Political leaders, celebrities, business figures, and former officials were mentioned in various contexts, some as witnesses, some as associates, some simply appearing in contact lists or flight logs. Importantly, appearing in documents does not necessarily imply criminal wrongdoing, but the sheer scope of the files raised serious questions about power, privilege, and accountability. For many observers, the most important element has never been the powerful names. It has been the survivors. Dozens of women and girls came forward, describing exploitation, manipulation, and abuse. Many fought for years in courtrooms to have their voices heard. Their testimony formed the backbone of the investigations. When records were unsealed, some survivors expressed concern about the way sensitive personal information was handled. Privacy, protection, and dignity remain ongoing issues in high-profile cases of this scale. Legal experts have described the case as potentially one of the largest political and institutional scandals in modern history. It exposed gaps in oversight, controversial plea agreements from earlier years, and questions about how justice is applied when wealth and influence are involved. Epstein died in federal custody in 2019 while awaiting trial, a development that fueled further controversy and speculation. Official investigations ruled his death a suicide, though public skepticism continues in some circles. Today, researchers, journalists, attorneys, and lawmakers continue combing through evidence, hundreds of thousands of files, emails, and images, attempting to understand the full scope of what happened and who enabled it. Beyond the headlines and political fallout, the lasting impact of the case lies in broader conversations about accountability for powerful individuals, protections for victims of trafficking and abuse, transparency in the justice system, institutional reform. The documents may fill millions of pages, but for survivors, the story is deeply personal. Not political theater, not internet spectacle, but lived experience. And as more records are reviewed and more questions surface, the case continues to shape global discussions about justice, power, and responsibility in ways that may echo for decades.